Hi and welcome to this tutorial. Today we're going to focus on answering the question, what is more important, managing or leading? Depending on the organisation and the particular job you're applying for, a different style of management or leadership may be required. For some teams, a more autocratic style of management may be best. For others, it may be more coaching and mentorship. The role of the person interviewing you is to establish if you're the right fit for their team and their organisation. He or she will be thinking, can I work with you, and do you have the right characteristics to lead a team with a specific challenge? And there are many challenges when leading a new team. For example, it could be brand new, it could be a team that's underperforming, it could be a team with a high turnover of staff, one with low morale and negativity, or it could be a team that's progressing really well. The really effective and standout candidates will understand this. So the important tip here is to understand the challenges before the interview. Contact the employers and see if you can have a meeting and explain the reasons why you wish to meet. That way you can be best prepared and understand if you have the right skills for the job and exactly what the challenge is within the team that you might be taking over. Like all answers, interviewers want to hear examples of how you've managed the team in the past and the approach that you've taken. This will then help distinguish whether you're a manager of a team or a leader of a team. And obviously you'll know exactly what traits you have, but this is why this question is important, to do your homework first and speak to the employers to find out what the challenge is. So let's start with an example of a poor answer and how that would sound. Leading for me is about trust. Managing, in my opinion, is about telling somebody what to do, and I would expect much more from my people and they would expect much more from me rather than just instructing them what to do. Leadership is about providing clear direction, building a positive environment where great results can be achieved. Now, the reason it's poor is because the answer is opinion based. And there's no problems with opinions, but for an actual interview, evidence in the form of an example of how you've managed or led a team in the past is what the interviewing panel are looking for. Again, say no problem at all with the opinion. Everybody's got an opinion and that's fine. But what we're saying earlier in the example or in this whole video is that if you find out what the challenge is, then you're best positioned when you actually come to answer the question. You can give examples of how you've managed or led a team and what that means to you. I say examples are always the most important thing interviewers are looking for. Now for a good example. To answer, remember always to use the CAR acronym. This helps organize your thoughts rather than trying to remember the whole answer. So the C in CAR stands for context, which means what were you doing, where were you working, and what was your role. The A stands for action, which means what did you do, what did you actually implement, and R means result, which is what is the result of the action that you took. So now for the answer. I was given the post of sales manager for a team of 6 salespeople. They were all relatively new and their experience ranged from just 6 months to a year. I was working for an insurance company selling products to SMEs, which consisted of creating appointments and closing deals. As the team was brand new and working in a competitive environment, which included 7 other teams, there was a lot of pressure, especially as the results of the team were displayed on electronic scoreboards around the building in the work environment. The first action I took was to focus on gaining appointments. As the team was new, they had a lot of fear, they were still unsure of their role, and part of my job as the leader was, instead of managing, was to telling them to get 10 appointments each day. I got involved to support the team. I spent just over an hour with each person. I was on the phone coaching on some calls and making appointments on others. My role was to create an environment of learning, of sharing best practice to boost the confidence of everybody in the team. The actions of boosting the confidence, to keep everybody motivated, to emphasize training, best practice, that was really important. And this was the example of leadership, and this is why I believe in leadership, is that the person who manages the team needs to reflect and needs to demonstrate their experience to instill that confidence. The result of those actions is that I've been able to see the team progress, to receive a boost in their confidence, to see that they're not scared of making appointments. And no other managers did this within the organisation. And this is one of the reasons why our team went from consistently performing 6th out of 7th to being consistently number 1 in terms of sales for 11 out of the 15 months. 3 of the team have been consistently number 1 on an individual basis. And hopefully what this demonstrates is my attitude to leadership in being involved with the team and making sure that when we're involved in sales that our results are consistent, and this demonstrated by that we're constantly number 1. So there's an example of 2 different types of answers, one more opinion based, one given an example. And again, these examples can apply to anything that you do. It could be in retail, it could be in IT, accountancy, it could be fashion. Whatever it is that you do, you just need to give an example of where you've led a team previously. And that's all interviewers are looking for, is if you can give a clear beginning, middle and end to your answer, then you stand a better chance of being able to convey your message to those people. Again, there's sports examples that can be used in school for those who have limited experience. There are so many examples that you can draw on from the past. Everybody is a lead at some point, even in school, college, university. So it really is important to get your message across and give an example. And as I say, hopefully you can see the difference between a poor answer and an answer that just tells a story. Clear beginning, the actions that you took, and more importantly, the result is what happened as a result of those actions. This is kind of the happy ever after, the end of the story, where it proves that your theory has worked.